Welcome, friends. And today we are going to talk about gaining weight when you are a caregiver or after somebody has died. So, this is something that's kind of near and dear to my heart. If you haven't heard of the program Weight Loss with the Holy Spirit, I invite you to go and check that out. It is run by Denise Jelnick, and it is a Catholic program for women who are losing weight and want to lose weight with the Holy Spirit. So it is an amazing program. I am honored and blessed that I get to be one of the coaches for that program. And so I coach a lot of women on weight loss. And a lot of what comes up is we are all caregivers in one way or another, typically as women, right? We are caring for our spouses, or we have a job where we're a teacher or a healthcare worker, or we have children or grandchildren, or we're caring for our siblings in different ways. Like as women, a lot of times the role that we take on is to be a caregiver. And so we a lot of times don't even recognize that this is what we're doing. We just fall into this so naturally. And that's a good thing. But what also happens with that is often we stop taking care of ourselves, or we never learn how to take care of ourselves because we go from being a child, a teenager, doing all those things, and then, we go to college and life just kind of starts. And for me, it was went to college, had fun. I wasn't a big partier or anything. I just did the college thing, right? I studied. I'm kind of a nerd. I like to take notes and do well on tests. And so that was my experience. I hung out with friends. But then as soon as I graduated, I took my nursing boards right away. So I did a little differently. It was a 2-year LPN college. So I graduated with that. I took my boards for LPN. So I had my LPN license for a year. So I was working as an LPN while I was going back to school, and it was a 1-year RN program. So it was really nice. I had gone to school for 1 year. So my whole college experience was 4 years total, right? And it was a trade school. So a lot of people weren't there on the weekends. And so I worked at the library, or I would read, or I would study. Occasionally, my boyfriend, who is now my husband, would come and visit, or I would go home for the weekend. And so that was kind of my experience. And then right after I got my RN, when I graduated with my RN program, I passed my boards. And then about a month or so later, we got married. And about 3 months after we got married, we were pregnant and we had baby, 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 baby. And so 6 babies in total. And so it just went from, I had this time, right, in college, but it was structured time. It was, okay, I'm still doing school, right? So just like in high school, you don't really have time or take the time to reflect and learn about yourself because you're following the structure. And so when I went to college, it was the same thing. I was following the structure. I was doing all the things. I was passing my grades, right? Going to church. And then when I got married, it was kind of like, oh my gosh, now I'm the adult. Like, what do I do? And so I would, we look at other people, other adults in our lives to see what we think we should be doing, what we believe we should be doing. And then we have social media now, so we see all those people, like different people, family and friends, and we're like, well, I should be doing those things too. And we kind of just build up this narrative of who we should be, who we are, without ever checking in with ourselves or checking in with the Lord. And so for me, then after having 6 children, and then my parents died, it just kind of got to be a point where I was like, something needed to give. And then right after my parents died, I found out about financial infidelity in my marriage. And so for me, I wanted to lose weight because I'm like, okay, I do not like how my clothes feel. I do not like how I feel in my body. And so I want to lose weight. And so that's how I discovered coaching. And I lost weight. And I went about it doing the diet mentality, right? I cut out carbs, I cut out sugar, but that didn't last very long. And so over the years, then I've kind of fluctuated back and forth. But again, kind of a plug for the weight loss with the Holy Spirit. It's really teaching you to not diet and really eat foods that you love and enjoy. but eat the amount that you love, enjoy too. And and so when I'm coaching women in this, a lot of times what I recognize is that we don't even know what we love and enjoy anymore. And we gain weight because we're trying to fill this void, this longing in our hearts for something, and we fill it with food. And most people are emotional eaters because there's food everywhere, right? We eat for family gatherings. We eat when we're happy because we're celebrating. We eat when we're sad because, well, what's the point? Right? So we just eat. We eat when we're stressed, right? We eat when we're overwhelmed. Like it's just something that we fall back on to fill that void or to avoid the feelings that we're trying to feel. And so when I started losing weight, I realized that there was a lot of emotions coming up. And so if you were on this journey and you were like, yes, like I am a caregiver, or I've recently had somebody pass away and I find myself just like eating, eating mindlessly. And a lot of women, it's evening time, right? Nighttime, right? When it's quiet, when we're done with work for the day, maybe your kids are in bed, maybe that's your only time that you have to yourself. And so you're like, this is what I want to do. And not necessarily that you want to do it, but it's what you have been doing. You've been filling that time with food because in your mind, it's like, yes, I deserve this. This is for me. This is my quiet time. And so I know for me, a lot of times, like the stress of working in a nursing job, the stress of hospice patients, the stress of my young family, um, I had a lot of sugary coffee drinks. And it's not like I don't love sugary coffee drinks. It's not like I can't enjoy them, but it's the way that I was using them to cope, to not have to feel tired or overwhelmed or stressed or lonely. I mean, we can be in a room full of people and feel so alone. And I felt so alone with so many young children trying to balance work, trying to make time, like for my husband and I, like we didn't go on a date for probably 10 years because it was just, we didn't think about it. Or if we did think about it, to me, it felt like another chore. It was something more I had to plan, something more I had to organize. I had to ask somebody to come watch the kids. Then I would feel bad because it's a lot of kids. Like, so it's all these things that we tell ourselves and we pile on the emotions without ever feeling the emotions. And then what we do is we turn to food. And you can put into like, alcohol or phone use, right? Like we fill that time with something because we don't want to feel the feelings. And so with this podcast, there's a lot of tips and things I can share, but really what I want people to recognize and to notice is for one, just that we can feel our feelings and it's okay. And so with a feeling, when a feeling comes up, right? If you're like, oh my gosh, I'm just so overwhelmed right now. A lot of times it happens so fast and it's so normal, we don't even know, right? We're just like, oh, I need a cup of coffee, right? Or, oh, I need something sweet. I need something to munch on. Like, it's just such a habit to go to that. We don't even recognize it. So that's the first step, right? The first step is to recognize when you're doing those things. For me, a lot of times it was in the afternoon when I would be trying to chart and document my nursing visits for the day. And being a hospice nurse, it was nice because I could bring my charting home and kind of finish it at home, right? It was kind of where you were at for the day. If you were near the office, you could go there. A lot of times I found it that distracting because people start talking to you. And so I just wanted to finish my work. I wanted to do the charting. So I would be charting. I had a desk set up. I'd be charting, finishing that, and I'd have some kids coming home from school, and I'd have other kids like, around evening time-ish, they're getting hungry. So like it's snack time, you're trying to do that, then you're trying to think of supper, all while I'm still trying to finish charting. And I would just, whatever the kids were snacking on, I would just grab. And I don't like goldfish, but I would just grab handfuls of goldfish. I don't like a lot of the foods that the kids eat, I really don't like. But I know that now because I have slowed down and I have paused and really asking myself, do I want this? Do I really enjoy this? Do I need this? And so when you're first starting out, I want you to think of the days that are the times in the day that are more like the pain points of the day, right? The times where you are like, yep, that's the time I go reach for the ice cream. And like I said, a lot of times for most of us, it's in the evening. When we're watching a TV show, we're just mindlessly snacking. And ask yourself, like, okay, this is what I'm doing, right? Almost every day when the kids are in bed, my husband and I are sitting down watching a show. And for us, a lot of times my husband would be like, I'm gonna make a pizza. And so we would have a whole other supper, like at like 9:30 or 10 o'clock at night. And I would just eat it. I would just eat it because like, yeah, that sounds good. Like, and now I realize it was because I wanted to connect with him. I wanted to share that time with him. And so to me, it meant I need to eat what he's going to eat. Now I look at that, I'm like, oh yeah, like that's fine. If he wants to go make something, he'll make something every once in a while. But a lot of times he'll like now he'll more snack on things. Be like, oh, you want some? It's like, no, I really don't. Like, I don't because I have been able to work through pausing and saying, okay, what do I really need in this moment? Sometimes it's like, hey, can we finish this episode and can we just go to bed? Sometimes it's, I haven't gotten water in. Like when you're very busy and you're going from thing to thing, I haven't gotten water in. So it's like, okay, how can I be my own personal assistant? And how can I take care of myself that way? How can I make sure that I get my water in every day? Because if I had a personal assistant, and I said, hey, this is on your to-do list every day, they would make sure it got done. So how can I be my own personal assistant and just look at these things and notice these things and then choose to have to change, to make little changes, or to choose not to? Be like, no, at the end of the night, I really enjoy eating my bar of chocolate. Like, fine, that's great. But it's because you're consciously choosing that instead of just letting these things happen to you and just mindlessly doing them. And at the end of the day, it's just one more way for you to throw on guilt and shame on top of everything else. So start there. Start with kind of writing down what times of the days or struggles for you. Just, and again, it's all just information. So we can start to be a scientist and we can start to look at this through a lens of like, oh, that's interesting. Why did I do that there? Oh, wait, I think what I'm really looking for there is I'm tired. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to grab a book and a glass of water or maybe some tea, and I'm going to read my book for 20 minutes. I'm going to set a timer there. That's really what I'm longing for. And I'm not longing for the Oreos. Okay. Another thing you can do is to slow down and chew your food. This is another thing that has helped me tremendously is to chew your food 20 times. Or, if it's like soup or yogurt or something like chew till your mouth is completely empty and then pause before the next bite and putting my utensil down. Like that is again something that Denise talks about, like that has been a game changer for me. I don't even realize how much like I just was shoveling food in my mouth. And a lot of times it's because like I have 6 kids. So like if you don't eat it, they're gonna eat it. So a lot of times it was like I was eating more of like this from the scarcity point of view of like, oh my gosh, what if I want more and it's gone? Versus eating slowly and realizing I don't even want more of that. So start with those few things. Again, check out weightlosswiththeholyspirit.com. It is an amazing program. But again, this is just kind of what I've noticed from care as a caregiver perspective. And again, I did it for years on end, is I was so busy taking care of everybody else that I forgot to take care of myself. And then when everything kind of came to a head in 2019, it was like, I didn't even know where to start. Didn't even know where to start. And thank God, by the grace of God, like he placed coaching in my life and it changed everything for me. It changed everything because I'm able to slow down when I have those moments of grief and despair and hopelessness. I know how to coach myself through that. Or I know it's time to go hire a coach again. I've hired a coach multiple times and to say, oh yeah, I want to work through this with somebody. So again, this is kind of a plug for weightlosswiththeholyspirit.com. She does not know I'm doing this, but she is an amazing person, a dear friend. And so again, weightlosswiththeholyspirit.com. It's amazing. It's an amazing program. If you want to work one-on-one with me, you can go to catholicgriefcoach.com and see the ways that you can work with me as well to just walk through that and really to know like that I understand from a caregiver's perspective, from again, a woman's perspective, right? Of just the pressure that we put on ourselves. And God is not calling us to that. He does not want that for us. He does not want every night where we go to bed and we're like running through the list of all the things we ate and we feel such shame and such guilt. It's like, okay, tomorrow I'm going to do it. Like I know I screwed up today royally. Tomorrow I'm going to do it, right? And we just do this cycle over and over and over again. Where it's like, well, the week shot Monday. Monday's my day. Like, right? We do that for years on end. And again, there's so many tips and things that I can help you with and walk you through this. There's a lot of just a lot of works out there that are so good about the brain and how it teaches us to do these things and we don't even realize it until you have an outsider view of it and you're like, oh yeah, like that makes so much sense why I was doing that. So again, it's just such peace and love to find the right coach for you or the right program for you because caregiving is stressful. And again, it might not be food for you, it was for me, but if it's drink or again with your phone, I do know a lot of coaches as well that if it's not really in my wheelhouse to help you through, I can refer you to somebody else. But a lot of things I do find are grief. The grief of even like we grieve from feeling like we've lost ourselves in the process. So, CatholicGriefCoach.com, you can look up all the information there. But I'm praying for you guys, and I hope you have the best possible day that you can. God bless.